Welcome to another video where I sit down with Jared, who is the founder and CEO of Millennial Media Group. This conversation is a gold mine of actionable insights and practical advice for both aspiring and experienced agency owners looking to build and scale their business. In this video, we're going to break down the steps to achieve your first $10,000 a month. We'll talk about why success is a numbers game and how mastering your skill sets and output is absolutely crucial. Then we'll talk about how to go from that $10,000 to $50,000 a month and highlighting the importance of hiring the right people and balancing leadership, mentorship, and delegation in order to do so. And we'll dive into the significance of having a clear mission and building a motivated team. Let's get into it. Well, firstly, why don't you introduce yourself, share your name, your location, what you do, and your agency.
Yeah, so founder and CEO of Millennial Media Group, where we started out in Orange County, California, moved out to Tempe, Arizona, and then we're looking to actually get an office out in Texas as well. We do well over 7 figures. I'm not going to share the numbers, but we do very well. And we've mainly focused on brands that we can actually take control of and take a percentage of their pot, because for us, it's like cash for service is not really it. So that's kind of a quick little introduction. Been doing it since 2015 now. So we're coming on 10 years of the space, which moves very quickly, right? 2015 was a much different time.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The hype was like, IGTV wasn't even a thing back then, or Reels or any of that stuff. That's awesome.
You post a decent video and it just gets traction. Right. And like the ad spend was insane. It was just like, if you really believed in your business, it was a great time to get into it. But we're here now. We're in the saturation market.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we got to evolve and adapt, just like you guys have done. So the people listening, the people watching this on this YouTube video, there's going to be some people who are just getting going and some people are a little bit more experienced. But I think the people that are going to be watching this are hungry. They're looking to grow. They're looking to grow their agency. So for the people that are looking to make, their first 10K as an agency, what do you think that they need to be doing in order to get to that infamous 10K a month mark?
I'm the perfect example for this. So I was actually in commercial real estate before I did this industry. Long story short, some things happened. I needed to go make 30,000 in 1 month in an industry that I had no idea. So I got in this industry, I knew about it, but I didn't know the camera. I didn't know what aperture was, dude. I didn't know what ISO was. I went to my first shoot on YouTube looking up what is the triangle, right? So for me, I was able to actually get $30,000, but I worked 18 hours every single day and my output was more. So if you want to get there quickly, it's all about output, right? Like you might be working really hard and not smart. And so I think to get to the 10K, it just comes down to a numbers game. It's like, okay, well, if I want to get 10K, what am I selling? So let's say you're not very good at it, right? Let's say your videos are awful. Okay, maybe you charge $100 for a video, which might be like, I can't, that's gonna be too much. Well, you got to learn your skill set. And so I think when people realize it's a numbers game, it's like, oh, all I need to get is this many clients at this price. And then if you get better, you can increase your pricing. So it really is a numbers game, I think, to get to 10K, because anybody can get to 10K nowadays, right? When I started in 2016, I had to pull teeth to get people to actually do social media and content creation. Like only the fitness community was really doing that. Like all other businesses were just like, we don't need this crap, right? Now it's like everybody knows you need it. COVID helps so much, right? So for us, it's like, it's now just a numbers game. So if you're not DMing people, if you're not talking to your close family and friends and saying, hey, this is what I do now, what can I do? If you're not showing up to events, if you're not offering free services first, that's one of the first things I did. Like, hey, I'll shoot a free real estate video for you. If you like it, then can you refer me and then hire me again? So you're building your book of business. And if you do that really well, then what starts to happen is you have a big enough book of business, then you can enter into that next phase, which is usually like 50,000, right?
Sick. So I love what you said, because you didn't say, I need to focus on systems. I need to have the perfect product. I need to do all this stuff. It's about grinding, hitting the pavement, and getting leads, getting sales, like just strictly focus on the sales to get to that first 10K mark. And that's fire. That's a super good point, man.
Well, and dude, it's interesting because most people, they think they need to do it perfect, right? So it's like, oh, if I don't have the perfect email script, if I don't have the perfect text script, right? Dude, I was just like sending videos on my iPhone, people being like, hey, I love the video you made about this. I think you can do a video like this. Let me know if you want me to help. That was it. It was just like conversation. So yeah, 100%. Don't overcomplicate it. Just take action.
Yeah, take action on getting business, not on your system or creating the perfect.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's just say I'm now at 10K a month. I'm humming. I'm feeling good. I'm probably busy. I'm probably feeling pretty busy in my business. What's it going to take? Like, what are the most important steps to get from like $10,000 a month to $50,000 a month in an agency?
Yeah, so 50,000 is a little bit of a different game, right? Because it comes down to time and money. And so in the beginning, you have a lot of time, but you don't have much money. So if you fill up your pipeline, it's almost like, think of it as like a plate of food, right? So in the beginning, you want to load up your plate as much as possible. You might have some things filling off your plate, right? But then now it's too packed. So for you to get to that next level, you obviously know how much money you're making because you're like, okay, my overhead's here and my, my profits here. Okay, this is how much money I'm making. Well, if you realize like, okay, well, max out, Jared can only make, let's say 30,000, right, a year. It's like, okay, or 30,000 a month, I should say, right? It's like, okay, well, how do I get to 50? Well, then you need to supplement your time with somebody else who does the work for you. That's where it's really hard for people though, right? Because what happens is when you start a business, you're almost like, oh, I really, really think I can make a big impact. But then you also aren't sure. You're insecure about it, which is why they say imposter syndrome, right? Then all of a sudden you get busy and then you're now you're building an identity as you're getting busy. And then you're like, I have to now give up control, which this is my baby, right? So it's almost like you have to unlearn what you did in the very beginning and start to become a leader and start to hire the right people, which is a whole different skill set. I know people want to have like, what's one thing that gets to the next level? There's a lot of skill sets on the way. So it's almost like weightlifting, right? It's like, if you want to go lift 300 pounds, you have to be the person that can lift 300 pounds. Like, bro, do you think I can lift 300 pounds? No, right? So am I going to put that on? No. So it's like, you have to build the person to get there first. And so you might say, well, Jared, I've never been a leader. I've never been in these things. Again, you have to take action on these things and then you'll fail and then you'll learn and you'll fail and you'll learn. One of my mentors said this, it was a prime example. He said the clear success to anything in life is how many times are you willing to be at bat? And there's a story where there is this game where people say they play. Imagine you're at a baseball stadium and you have this whole entire crowd and it's all packed, right? Now the game is, Austin, me and you get to go to the plate and verse a professional MLB pitcher who's throwing 100 miles an hour. But if we hit a home run, we make $1 million. Now, the caveat to that is we probably can't hit a 100-mile fastball, but how many times are you willing to stand on that plate and swing and miss while the crowd's getting louder and you're getting more stressed out? Are you going to sit there until you win, or are you going to sit there until, oh no, it's too hard, right? So it's all these stages of 10,000 to 50,000. What got me at 10,000? I had to unlearn all of my habits and what I did, because it was, oh, I can handle this. Oh, email, come over here. I can do that. Then it becomes about delegation. So it's like, do I have the right people I trust? Am I willing to go through growing pains with them? What does that mean? You take a shoot, let's say a video shoot, then you build a relationship with a client, and then you send over your new hire. Now he screws up. You get a call from your client all pissed off. Who deals with it? You do. And then you start thinking, why the heck am I doing this? I can do all of it myself. But it's like, wait a minute, the goal is 50,000. The goal is 100,000, right? You physically can't do it. So it's time and money. And then when we get into the 100,000 to the million mark a month, it's a whole different concept, right? So that's why I think they shouldn't be focused on 50,000 in the beginning. They should be focusing on 10,000 and perfecting that. Then when they have that extra money, go hire a person like you who has been there, and then just have you undo all the bad habits that they have and say, look, you did great over here. Good job. Here's your roses. Now we're doing this over here. And so that's really the steps I would say. So really 50,000 is also the mentorship. Like, you're going to go through growing pains. So to get there faster, take your money, give to somebody like you who's doing this full time, right? Like, what do I need to do to get 50,000? And then let you just take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're becoming, if I'm a videographer watching this, you're becoming less of a videographer and more of a leader, and you're building other people underneath of you. You're multiplying yourself. You're multiplying your skill sets. You're trying to teach other people how to do it. And like what you said, it's a completely different skill set that requires no technical ability. And like what you're saying, it's about becoming a leader and learning the things that will get you there. So, okay. So let's just say I hit that $50,000 per month mark. What's going to get me to the $100,000 per month mark?
Okay, so and let's say this, because I know a lot of your audience is also going to be people that are videographers or photographers. Like, look, I never loved videography, photography, editing, graphic design. I wanted to be a business owner. That was my passion, right? And so I think I want to stop there, because some people might be thinking, well, can I grow a big business if I'm not the CEO? And it's like, well, again, if you're good with hiring people, I know a lot of people that are good videographers and they say, I just want to take these projects, and they go hire a CEO, they go hire a CMO, they go hire these different people. So can you do it? Like, can you get to the $100,000 mark with also doing what you love? Yes, you have the option to manufacture your life. You just have to get good at skill sets, right? And so if you hire somebody who's a CEO, that's a big role, because you're now hiring somebody in your business that's not going to care as much as you do, but you can do it. So let's start there, right? Now, if you're in my position, your position, where it's like, hey, I want to grow a big business, that's the 100,000 a month, that's the getting to the million a month, right? I say from that standpoint, you need to get really good at both sides, the offense and the defense, and also the investing side. Because I think a lot of people say, how can I get this big, prime example, know a buddy who did $20 million a year, and he had about 130 employees. Then all of a sudden he downgraded all the employees, had 5 employees, and was making only $5 million a year, but his profit was more. So it's like, who's winning there? Do you want to walk around saying you have a $4 million, $20 million business, or would you rather be making more money, right? So I think the clarity of where am I actually going and what do I actually want to build is where the next phase comes into. And so for example, me, I don't do anything on the operations side, because we do have these big money goals, but I hate when people say, I want to make $1 million and there's no purpose behind it. So what I do, I am religious. God is the forefront of everything. So I say God is the real CEO. And so what I do is, when money's coming in, when a wire comes in, a wire goes out to a better cause. And so I'm now going and making more money, not because Jared needs more money or more things. I'm making more money because I see the impact that we do in Africa when we give wells, and we don't just give people fish for a day. We actually show them and do different things, right? So the impact for me is like, guys, we got to go out and get $100,000 because we have this bigger cause. So can you get there without the purpose and the cause? Yes, but every single person, for the most part, that I've talked to loses themselves along the way, because the purpose becomes about the money, not the purpose. And so realistically, 50,000, 100,000, if you're running a really clean business and your EBITDA is a high number, it's like you're making enough money for you to be good. Now it comes down to how much are you involved in the business. I'm running this whole entire business. Like after this, I got one more meeting, and that's a meeting I want to take. I'm going golfing, meeting people. I don't do really anything in the business anymore. People are like, oh, Jared, how'd you build this? Intentionally, right? Like, I want to make this much money. Who do I need to go hire? How many sales? How much output do we need to put out? Okay, now we have a chance to actually hit our actual goal. Not just like, guys, we're making $1 million this month. Okay, how? We're just going to grind, bro, right? We're going to get after it. It's like, no, you have to look at this as a business. Like, what are the numbers that are going out? What is our turn with our employees too? Is there going to be more cost in the overhead? And in order to do that correctly, again, you got to hire the right people. I get cash accounts on my desk. I get everything oversight. And so I can look at this and say, I know exactly where we are, where we're going, my fingers on the pulse. It's like, if you didn't, triathlon, for example, if you didn't have any training, right? And you had no plan, you had no numbers, you didn't know what you did, and you just went out and ran. You didn't know your pace was, your heart rate. It's impossible to get better. So you need to track these things along the way if you want to get to that next level.
Yeah, dope. So what I heard you say is one, have a mission and purpose behind your business. Don't just do it for an egotistical way, because that will fizzle away pretty freaking quick. Have a mission. And then 2, hire leaders and create leaders at your business that can help run the business for you, so that you can have free time to do it. Like, I can totally relate. It's once you get the team bought into the mission, that's when the company's going to grow, and they know what they're working for, why they're doing everything from the day-to-day perspective. And then, like, one thing that I was very intentional with was, like, if I hired a video editor, like, my goal was to make them a senior video editor. If I hired a videographer, my goal was to make them a creative director. Seeing people as like that versus like they're just doing a task for me and it's all about Austin and what Austin can benefit. It's like, no, there's gold in a lot of different people. I'm going to pull it out of them and I'm going to build them up as a leader. So those are 2 really good nuggets, man.
So good. And I think a touch on that real quick too is, if you really want to build a really good business, and everybody says this, you need the right people. But if you think about the right people, right? Like, let's say like, is Austin pitchable? Like, could I get you to go work for me? Let's say it's like, well, it's not impossible, but it's like I would have to offer you something that is so beyond your goals, which you're already a goal generated person. It's not impossible, but then you think about that, you're like, wait, there's a lot of people out there that don't have what me and you have, which is a goal, right? Like we know we have a clear vision where we're going. People have the same work ethic as us, but they don't have a goal to go chase. So if you give them this vision, which is Walt Disney was the best at this, right? It's like he gave people the vision. And he didn't build anything. He didn't pick up a hammer. He didn't do any of this stuff, right? And it made them feel like they're a part of it. It's the reason why when he passed away, it was the craziest day ever. And all the employees still cry about it to this day. So give a vision that's big enough and repeat it every single day. Even if you think you're crazy, every Monday morning for our meetings, I literally go over our core values and what are we doing? And everybody kind of rolls their eyes. If I stop doing that, they forget what the goal is. Because it's not their goal, right? But then when they see, they're like, yes, we're doing that. Okay, we're back at it. So really important to make sure that you get the right people that have a goal that they're chasing too. And then they'll build your company for you. And you'll just clap and say, dude, you're better than me. And that's the best thing you can do.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you got some good insight from this, give it a thumbs up. If you are an agency owner wanting to grow and scale, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.